In the depths of the galaxy, where the stars whispered ancient stories and the void held untold mysteries, there existed a place known as the Galactic Council. It was a web of civilizations, a melting pot of different species and cultures that had come together in the pursuit of peace and prosperity. Among the countless members of the Galactic Council, humans were considered a relatively new addition. Their presence had stirred both curiosity and apprehension among the established galactic races. Some saw them as ambitious upstarts with impressive technological prowess, while others viewed them with suspicion, their unpredictable nature a cause for concern. One event, however, would forever change the perception of humans within the Galactic Council, a tragedy that would alter the course of interstellar relations. It all began with the arrival of a small human child on the Council's doorstep. The child, a mere infant, had been found adrift in a damaged spacecraft, the only survivor of a brutal attack on an undisclosed human colony. The Council members, intrigued by the presence of this lone survivor, took the child in, believing it to be an act of mercy. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, it became apparent that the human child carried with it a darkness born of tragedy and loss. The child would often wake in the dead of night, screaming in terror, its tiny fists clenched in anguish. The Council members, fearing the repercussions of harboring such a tortured soul, made the fateful decision to return the child to the remnants of its destroyed world. They believed that by doing so, they would be rid of the human child's curse and restore balance to the galaxy. What they did not anticipate, however, was the fierce retribution that would follow. When the news of the child's return reached the human authorities, a primal fury ignited within the hearts of humanity. They saw the Council's act as a betrayal of trust, of compassion, of basic decency. And they vowed to make those responsible pay for their callous disregard for the life of an innocent child. The humans mobilized their fleets, their armies, their most advanced weapons of war. They set out on a path of vengeance, determined to show the galaxy the true power of their resolve. With grim determination, they waged a campaign of destruction, laying waste to the worlds of those who had dared to wrong them. And as the flames of their retaliation spread across the stars, the Galactic Council trembled in fear, realizing too late the consequences of their actions. The humans, once perceived as fragile newcomers, had proven themselves to be a force to be reckoned with. A force born of tragedy and forged in the fires of vengeance. And so it was that the galaxy learned a harsh lesson that day. Torture a human child, and they will burn your worlds in return. As the human fleets advanced through the galaxy, their vengeance fueled by the cries of the tortured child echoing in their minds, the Galactic Council scrambled to respond to the unexpected onslaught. Diplomatic envoys were dispatched in a desperate attempt to negotiate peace, to plead for mercy in the face of the humans' relentless fury. But the humans were unyielding, their hearts hardened by the suffering of their young and the destruction wrought upon their people. They saw no room for negotiation, no room for compromise. To them, the only justice that could be meted out was swift and decisive, a justice born of the ashes of their lost worlds. On the devastated planets that had once been home to thriving civilizations, the remnants of the Galactic Council's forces stood as a testament to the price of their folly. Cities lay in ruins, the charred remains of once proud structures reaching towards the blood-red sky. The wails of the survivors mingled with the crackling of burning embers, a symphony of loss and despair. In the council chambers, voices raised in anger and fear as leaders from across the galaxy debated their next course of action. Some advocated for a full-scale retreat, a withdrawal from the conflict before more lives were lost. Others called for a unified front against the human aggressors, a last stand to defend what little remained of their once mighty coalition. Amidst the chaos and uncertainty, a lone figure emerged, a human ambassador, bearing a message of reckoning and retribution. With steely resolve, the ambassador declared that the humans would not rest until every last perpetrator of the atrocity against their child had been brought to justice. The galaxy would tremble before their wrath, and those who had dared to defy them would pay the ultimate price. As the galactic powers grappled with the enormity of the human threat, a sense of foreboding settled over the council chambers. They had awakened a sleeping giant, a force of nature unleashed upon the cosmos, a force driven not by conquest or ambition, but by a primal instinct to protect their own at all costs. And so, as the human fleets drew ever closer, their weapons primed and their resolve unshakable, the galaxy braced itself for the storm that was to come. The Galactic Council tortured human child, and in response, humanity unleashed its fury upon the stars, a relentless tempest of vengeance that would reshape the very fabric of the cosmos. As the human fleet surged through the galaxy, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake, the once proud members of the Galactic Council found themselves facing an existential crisis unlike any they had ever encountered. Their worlds trembled under the relentless assault of human warships, their civilizations teetering on the brink of annihilation. In the heart of the Council's capital world, a sense of dread permeated the air as the leaders of the galactic races convened in emergency session. Desperation clung to their every word, their voices strained with fear and uncertainty as they debated the best course of action in the face of humanity's unstoppable advance. Amidst the chaos, a voice of reason emerged, a counselor from a species long known for their wisdom and counsel. With somber eyes and a voice filled with gravitas, the counselor implored their counterparts to set aside their differences and unite against the common enemy that now threatened them all. The humans have shown us the depths of their resolve, their capacity for destruction, the counselor intoned, their words echoing through the chamber with a weight that could not be denied. We must stand together, as one voice, if we are to have any hope of survival in the face of this relentless onslaught. The counselors, their hearts heavy with the weight of the decision before them, nodded in grim agreement. They knew that the time for petty rivalries and political squabbles had passed. The survival of their civilizations hung in the balance, and only by joining forces could they hope to withstand the fury of humanity's wrath. And so, with a unity born of desperation and forged in the fires of adversity, the Galactic Council rallied its remaining forces to make one final stand against the encroaching human armada. Planets were fortified, fleets were mobilized, and alliances were formed in a last-ditch effort to repel the invaders and preserve what little remained of their once proud coalition. As the clash of civilizations loomed on the horizon, the galaxy held its breath in anticipation of the coming storm. The humans, driven by a thirst for justice and retribution, prepared to unleash their fury upon the galactic races that had dared to challenge them. And in the chaos and uncertainty that engulfed the cosmos, one truth remained clear. The Galactic Council had tortured a human child, and now they would face the reckoning for their sins. Humanity's vengeance, relentless and unforgiving, was about to descend upon the stars in a cataclysmic clash that would decide the fate of the galaxy itself. On the planet of Eridanus Prime, a pivotal battleground in the escalating conflict between humanity and the Galactic Council, the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. The once thriving world had been transformed into a war-torn wasteland, its skies darkened by the smoke of battle and the echoes of destruction reverberating across its scarred surface. As the human armada descended upon Eridanus Prime, their warships looming like behemoths in the void, the defenders of the Galactic Council prepared for the ultimate showdown. The combined forces of the galactic races stood united, their resolve steeled by the knowledge that they fought not just for their own survival, but for the future of the entire cosmos. The battlefield trembled with the thunderous roar of cannon fire and the dazzling light of energy weapons as the two sides clashed in a cataclysmic struggle for dominance. Human warships, their hulls bristling with weapons of immense power, engaged the Council fleets in a deadly dance of death and destruction, each side unleashing their fury upon the other with unrestrained ferocity. On the surface of Eridanus Prime, Ground troops fought a brutal and unforgiving battle, their weapons cutting through the air with deadly precision as they vied for control of key strategic positions. The once verdant landscapes of the planet were now scarred by craters and scorched earth, a testament to the savagery of war that had descended upon this once peaceful world. In the midst of the chaos and carnage, a lone figure emerged, a human commander, their gaze steely and unwavering as they led their forces with a determination born of tragedy and loss. With a tactical acumen honed in the crucible of conflict, the commander orchestrated their troops with skill and precision, turning the tide of battle in humanity's favor with every calculated maneuver. As the battle raged on, the Council forces found themselves pushed to the brink of defeat, their lines crumbling under the relentless onslaught of the human war machine. Desperation gripped their hearts as the realization dawned that they were facing an enemy unlike any they had ever encountered, a force driven not by conquest, but by a desire for justice and retribution. And so it was that on the blood-soaked fields of Eridanus Prime, amidst the wreckage of war and the cries of the fallen, the galaxy witnessed the beginning of a new era. An era defined by the inescapable truth that the Galactic Council tortured a human child, and now they faced the wrath of a species unbound by mercy or forgiveness. The Battle of Eridanus Prime would be remembered as a turning point in the galactic conflict, a testament to the enduring strength and determination of humanity in the face of overwhelming odds. As the smoke of battle began to clear over the war-torn remnants of Eridanus Prime, a somber silence settled upon the battlefield, a silence broken only by the groans of the wounded and the echoes of distant explosions as the last remnants of resistance were quashed by the unyielding might of the human forces. Amidst the ruins of the once thriving world, a sense of melancholy hung heavy in the air as the human commander surveyed the devastation wrought by the fierce conflict. Their heart heavy with the weight of the lives lost and the destruction caused. A flicker of regret crossed their eyes, a silent acknowledgement of the price paid in pursuit of vengeance. It was then that a lone figure approached, a counselor, their posture weary but determined, their eyes filled with a steely resolve that belied the devastation that surrounded them. In a voice tinged with regret, the counselor spoke, their words laden with a plea for understanding and reconciliation. We stand on the brink of desolation, the echoes of our past mistakes ringing loud in the silence of this shattered world, the counselor began, their voice carrying across the desolate landscape with a solemn cadence. We have erred in our treatment of your kind, and for that, we now face the consequences of our actions. The human commander, their gaze meeting the counselor's with a mixture of weariness and understanding, listened as the counselor offered an olive branch, a chance for redemption, a path towards peace in the wake of the destructive conflict that had torn the galaxy asunder. And in that moment, as the remnants of their forces gathered around them, battered but unbroken, a choice lay before humanity, a choice between perpetuating the cycle of violence and retribution or embracing the possibility of forgiveness and reconciliation. With a heavy heart and a newfound sense of perspective, the human commander extended a hand of truce towards the counselor, a gesture of acceptance and understanding in the face of the galaxy's collective pain and suffering. And as the survivors of the Battle of Eridanus Prime looked on, a glimmer of hope stirred within their hearts, a hope that, perhaps amidst the ashes of war and the ruins of conflict, a path towards unity and cooperation could be forged, a chance for unity and cooperation could be forged. Redemption in the aftermath of devastation. In that moment of profound vulnerability and shared sorrow, the galaxy stood poised on the brink of a new dawn, a dawn heralded not by the clash of weapons or the roar of engines, but by the quiet whisper of understanding and the promise of a future, built upon the foundations of mutual respect and compassion. The Galactic Council tortured a human child, and humanity responded with righteous fury. But in the aftermath of the cataclysmic conflict that followed, a new chapter was being written, one of redemption and reconciliation, of unity born from the crucible of conflict, a testament to the enduring resilience of the sentient beings that called the stars their home. In the wake of the devastating conflict that had consumed the galaxy, a fragile sense of peace descended upon the war-torn worlds, as humanity and the Galactic Council tentatively sought to heal the wounds of the past and forge a new path forward. Amidst the ruins of Eridanus Prime, where the scars of battle still lingered, representatives from both sides gathered to discuss the possibility of reconciliation and cooperation in the aftermath of the destructive war. The human commander and the counselor, once bitter adversaries on the battlefield, now stood side by side as symbols of a newfound understanding and mutual respect. With a shared commitment to overcoming the divisive legacy of the conflict that had divided them, they embarked on a journey of dialogue and diplomacy, seeking to build bridges where once there had been only walls. As the discussions unfolded, a sense of cautious optimism began to take root among the war-weary populations of the galaxy. Old grievances were set aside in favor of a shared vision for a more peaceful and prosperous future, one in which the lessons learned from the horrors of war could serve as a catalyst for greater cooperation and unity among the diverse civilizations that inhabited the stars. New alliances were forged, bonds of friendship and trust formed in the crucible of conflict, and tempered by the shared experiences of loss and redemption. Trade agreements were established, cultural exchanges initiated, and mutual defense pacts signed as the galaxy embarked on a new era of collaboration and understanding. Across the galaxy, the scars of war slowly began to fade as the shattered worlds were rebuilt, their populations united by a common purpose and a shared commitment to ensuring that the mistakes of the past would not be repeated. The memory of the Galactic Council tortured human child, and the ensuing conflict served as a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked aggression and the importance of empathy and compassion in interstellar affairs. And as the stars shone bright in the vast expanse of space, casting their gentle light upon the healing worlds below, the galaxy stood at the dawn of a new age, a time of reconciliation and renewal, a testament to the enduring resilience and capacity for growth of the sentient beings that inhabited its myriad systems. The Galactic Council and humanity had faced their darkest hour and emerged on the other side, their shared experiences binding them together in a newfound alliance that would shape the destiny of the cosmos for generations to come. In the crucible of conflict, they had found a path towards peace, a path illuminated by the unwavering light of hope and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. With a fragile peace now established between humanity and the Galactic Council, the galaxy began to witness a remarkable transformation. A transformation marked by cooperation, understanding, and a newfound spirit of unity that transcended the old divisions and animosities that had once threatened to tear civilizations apart. Diplomatic envoys shuttled between worlds, carrying messages of goodwill and collaboration as the diverse species of the Galactic Council and humanity worked hand in hand to rebuild what had been lost in the fires of war. Technology was shared, knowledge exchanged, and cultural barriers transcended as old wounds slowly began to heal, replaced by a shared vision for a brighter future. On the once devastated planet of Eridanus Prime, now a symbol of resilience and rebirth, a grand ceremony was held to commemorate the signing of the Galactic Reconciliation Accord, a historic document that enshrined the principles of peace, cooperation, and mutual respect among all the sentient beings of the galaxy. As representatives from across the stars gathered beneath the gleaming spires of the newly reconstructed capital city, a sense of hope and optimism permeated the air, mingling with the echoes of past conflicts gradually fading into memory. The Galactic Council and humanity, once bitter enemies, now stood united in their commitment to forging a prosperous and harmonious future for all who called the galaxy home. In a stirring speech that echoed across the Grand Plaza, the human commander and the counselor spoke as one voice, their words a testament to the enduring power of reconciliation and the boundless potential of unity in the face of adversity. They spoke of a galaxy where differences were celebrated, where common goals outweighed individual ambitions, and where the lessons learned from the mistakes of the past guided them towards a brighter tomorrow. And as the gathered crowds looked on, their hearts filled with pride and determination, they knew that the galaxy had entered a new era, a unified era where the scars of war had given way to the promise of peace, and where the Galactic Council and humanity stood as beacons of hope and inspiration for all who gazed up at the stars above. In the endless expanse of space, where countless worlds awaited discovery and untold adventures beckoned, a unified galaxy now stood poised on the brink of a future filled with boundless possibilities, a future shaped by the enduring spirit of cooperation, understanding and compassion that had emerged from the crucible of conflict and transformed the stars into a tapestry of shared dreams and aspirations. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting its golden light upon the assembled representatives of the Galactic Council and humanity, a sense of profound tranquility settled over the world of Eridanus Primes, a world once ravaged by war, now rejuvenated by the promise of a unified galaxy united in purpose and vision, destined to chart a new course towards a brighter and more harmonious future for all who called it home. In the wake of the Galactic Reconciliation Accord, the galaxy flourished under a newfound era of unity and cooperation. The Galactic Council and humanity worked tirelessly to establish mechanisms for conflict resolution, promote cultural exchange, and foster scientific collaboration that transcended the boundaries of individual civilizations. A new institution emerged from the ashes of past conflicts, the Guardians of Peace, a coalition of beings from all corners of the galaxy dedicated to upholding the principles of harmony, understanding, and mutual respect. Comprised of representatives from diverse species, the Guardians of Peace served as a beacon of hope and a testament to the enduring power of unity in the face of adversity. On the thriving world of Eridanus Prime, the Guardians of Peace established their headquarters, a gleaming citadel that rose majestically from the ruins of war, a symbol of resilience and renewal that stood as a testament to the galaxy's shared commitment to building a future rooted in peace and cooperation. Within the halls of the citadel, ambassadors and diplomats from across the stars gathered to discuss matters of interstellar importance, to mediate disputes, and to foster camaraderie among the galactic races. The echoes of past conflicts faded into memory as the Guardians of Peace worked tirelessly to ensure that the mistakes of the past would not be repeated, that the fragile peace that had been so painstakingly won would endure for generations to come. As the years passed, the galaxy prospered under the watchful eye of the Guardians of Peace. Trade flourished, cultures mingled, and scientific advancements pushed the boundaries of knowledge to new heights. Old animosities gave way to friendships, and the bonds forged in the fires of war were solidified by the shared experiences of cooperation and understanding that now defined the galaxy. And amidst the hustle and bustle of diplomatic negotiations, scientific breakthroughs, and cultural celebrations that echoed across the stars, a quiet sense of gratitude filled the hearts of all who called the galaxy home. They knew that the Guardians of Peace stood as a beacon of hope in a universe often fraught with uncertainty, their commitment to fostering peace and unity a testament to the enduring spirit of cooperation that had transformed the stars into a tapestry of shared dreams and aspirations. In the endless expanse of space, where countless worlds awaited discovery and untold adventures beckoned, the Guardians of Peace now stood as custodians of a future shaped by the promise of a unified galaxy united in purpose and vision. And as they gazed out at the boundless expanse of the cosmos, they knew that the legacy of the Galactic Council tortured a human child had given rise to a new chapter in the history of the galaxy, one defined by the enduring power of peace, understanding, and compassion that would guide them towards a brighter tomorrow, together as one.